Hello everyone, hope you all are doing good. Welcome to my next video on microprocessor. In the last video, we have studied about logical address, physical address, and offset address, and also segment value, right? Segment value is also called as the starting address of the particular segment. Then we have also studied the format for logical address with respect to code segment and data segment. And after that, we have studied a calculation of physical address with respect to the code segment and data segment using the logical address, right? Now, in today's video, we will study about the stack, okay, stack segment, the use of stack segment, and what is the disadvantage of stack segment, and the procedure to access the stack, and what are the changes that takes place in the CPU when we access the stack. Okay. All right. Now here we know that the purpose of stack is to store the information temporarily, right? Just like the other general purpose registers in 8086, stack is also used in order to store the information temporarily. Now, when we have general purpose registers, why do we require stack? It is because we have very few number of general purpose registers. All right, the general purpose registers in 8086 are not enough. All right, there are very few numbers of general purpose registers. That is the reason we make use of stack. Then one question might arise: why can't we increase the number of registers, and why do we have to use the stack? It is because if we increase the number of registers, the number of transistors used uh, has to be increased. Okay, the number of transistors used has to be increased. So in order to increase the transistor, if we use the more number of transistors, the cost of the design will increase. And to avoid this, the increase in the cost, what do is we use another section of the memory called as stack in order to store the information temporarily. Okay, that is what I have also mentioned it here. The stack is a section of RAM used by the CPU to store the information temporarily. The CPU needs this storage area since there are only a limited number of registers. Then the increase in the number of registers instead of stack, cost of design increases. Okay, since the number of transistors increases. Okay, and not enough transistors are available, and the cost also increases, we can see. Now, what is the disadvantage of having this stack? That is the access time, right? The main disadvantage of the stack is the access time, since it is in the RAM. So access time is more compared to the access time of the register. All right. The registers are inside the CPU, whereas the RAM is outside the CPU. Okay, remember this. This is one of the important points. Why the access time for stack is more when compared to the registers. Okay. Now, how stack is accessed? Let us see. There are two registers, all right, used to access the stack. What is that? Stack segment. This we know already, isn't it? It is the segment in the memory, isn't it? So if we have to access the code segment, we require the code segment registers, which is 16-bit in size. If we have to access the data segment, then we require data segment register, right? Data segment register and the code segment register will hold the starting address of the respective registers, isn't it? Along with that, we require another 16-bit register for what? To hold the offset address, isn't it? So now here also we require two registers. One is stack segment register, isn't it? and another is stack pointer, that is SP. Now this stack segment register will hold the starting address of the stack segment, and SP, the pointers are also always used in order to store the offset address. This I have mentioned it, isn't it? Now these registers have to be loaded before accessing the stack, before accessing any memory location in the stack. All right. Every register inside the 86 can be stored in the stack and brought back to the CPU from the stack memory, except the segment register and stack pointer. Okay. Now what are they trying to say is the content of any register, the content of any register, for example, AX, BX, CX, DX, DI, SI, okay, BP. So any register, the content can be moved to the stack and can be moved from the stack back to the CPU, except the content of the segment register. Content of the segment registers, all the 4 segment registers, and the content of the stack pointer. All right. So because the stack pointer will always be holding the offset address of the stack segment. Now next, the storing of the CPU register in the stack is called as push. The process of storing the content of a CPU register into the stack is called as push. We know this, we are aware of this because we have studied this in 8085. All right. And the loading of the contents of the stack into the CPU is called as pop. Okay. Push and pop. All right. The job of stack pointer. Now, what is the job of stack pointer? How? What are the changes that takes place whenever your processor comes across push and pop instruction? What are the changes that takes place in the SP, in the stack pointer, whenever your processor comes across push and pop instructions? Let us see that. First thing, it decrements. Okay, it decrements when the data is pushed onto the stack, and it increments as the data is popped off the stack. Means whenever the data from the particular register is being loaded onto the stack, the content of the SP will decrement. Means the offset address will go on decrementing. Okay. And whenever the content from the stack is being loaded into some register, is loaded into the processor, then the content of the stack pointer will increment. Means the offset address, what is loaded in the stack, the content of the stack pointer is offset address, isn't it? So the content of that particular SP will increment. All right. Now let us see examples. This push AX. Okay. Pushing on to the stack. Push AX is a example to access the stack. Push AX means what? The content of this 16-bit register AX will be pushed to the stack. Okay. Pushing onto the stack. The contents of the register are stored on the stack, and the SP is decremented by 2. This we will see in the example definitely, but you have to remember, you have to make sure, okay, after executing some push instruction, you should observe that the content of the SP has decremented by 2. Okay. In 86 microprocessor, the lower byte is always stored in the memory location with the lower address. This is very important point. How are you going to store? What is the procedure in which you are going to store? Okay. The lower byte is the lower byte is always stored in the memory location with the lower address. We will see that. Okay. Popping of the stack. Popping the contents of the stack back into the 86 CPU is the opposite process of pushing. All right. With every pop, the top 2 bytes of the stack are copied to the register, and the SP is incremented twice. So SP is incremented by 2 again. Okay. There in push, the SP is decremented by 2, and here in pop, the SP is incremented by 2. These were the few important points that you have to remember with respect to stack. Okay. Now, first, we will see the example for pushing. Assume that your SP has 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay. SP is stack pointer. AX is having 2, 4, B6 data. Okay. Then AX is an accumulator register, a general purpose register. DI is having 8, 5, C2. What is DI? Destination index register. DX. DX is again a general purpose register. The content is 5F93. Okay. Now they have given all the contents here. Let us see what are the instructions. Instructions are push AX, push DI, and push DX. What does that mean? We have to load the content of AX register into the stack. Then we have to load the content of DI onto the stack. Then we have to load the content of DX into the stack. Got it? Okay. For which we have also been given the offset address, but we do not know the segment value. It is okay if we do not know the segment value. How we can represent? Just represent SS, stack segment. Okay, stack segment is to the address, but the starting address is what? 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, we will write in this manner. You can write it in any manner, but here the correct way of representation is this. SS is to 1, 2, 3, 6. 1, 2, 3, 6 is the memory location from where we are going to start loading of the content of AX into the stack. Okay, because whatever address, offset address they have given there, 1, 2, 3, 6 is the starting address, of a particular instruction. Okay, so first instruction is push AX. Now what is happening in push AX? Before push AX, your SP is pointing to 1, 2, 3, 6. Now let us see. During push instruction, the lower byte is loaded on to the lower address. If I am writing this, if I'm writing a next memory location earlier to 1236, then it will be 1235. It is the next lower address is 1234. Next lower address is 1233, and so on, isn't it? So the lower address will be loaded with the lower data, but the starting address of accessing or loading the data is 1236. Now out of this this is the address, right? So what is the data here? 24B6. First instruction is push AX.